Hello and welcome to the channel. Chris here. If you like this video, please click like on the bottom and please hit subscribe in order to stay updated on new videos that I'm going to try to produce every single week. This is my Gibson Les Paul, and what we're talking about today are Wolfetone pickups, hence the shirt. We're going to hear it in all three positions. I'm going to play with the tone and volume a bit throughout, and we're going to be running it into my Fender Twin Reverb reissue, clean with the reverb on at first, and then after that we'll plug it into the Marshall. I'll run through a few clean settings on the Marshall just to hear the variance between a clean Marshall and a clean Fender, and then we'll run it with pedals in there. I'll turn the reverb off. I'll be using a Wampler Ecstasy for the low gain sound, and then I'll be coupling that with a Wampler Tumnus for the high gain stacked sound, which is going to all be through the Fender amp. And then we'll go into the third channel of the TSL and really jack that gain. This is a Les Paul Classic. This is from 1996, and these are awesome guitars. I love the 60s style neck on this particular instrument, and this series of Les Pauls has that feature. But they also come with really hot rodded ceramic pickups. It's the original pickups are the 496R in the neck and the 500T in the bridge. And if you're looking to do metal, hard rock, and you've got high gain, they're fantastic pickups. I actually really like them for that feature, particularly the bridge pickup that came with this. Just had that really sizzling kind of sound if that's your genre. On the clean side of things though, they were never my favorite pickups. I actually found them pretty harsh, what people often describe as ice pick like, and you really had to roll off your volume. If you were on 10, they were pretty sterile. In addition, I found that when you're stacking gain pedals, those ceramic pickups do not sound as nice as lower output Alnico pickups do. So I just found you had more options with an Alnico style pickup and a far better clean tone. So thus began a quest to switch these pickups out, and I wanted to put something very nice in there. I've got lots of Seymour Duncans and other guitars, but I wanted to try something different. So the beauty of this day and age with the internet are all the internet forums, and the pickups that get really credited online in terms of pickups for a Les Paul. There's a whole bunch of them, obviously, but the ones that really stood out to me a lot were WCR, which are hand wound by a guy named Jim Wagner in the US, and the Godwood Bridge and the American Steel series really got a lot of accreditation towards sort of sound I was thinking. Seymour Duncan has the Antiquity series, which again, kind of similar. And the third brand that kept coming up all the time were Wolfetones, which are handmade and hand wound by a guy named Wolf McLeod in the US. And this particular pickup is the Dr. Vintage in the neck. It's an Alnico 2 bass pickup. And this one is the Marshallhead, which is an Alnico 5 bass pickup. And I got them in the zebra kind of matching thing because I like that look, sort of where they're facing the opposite ways. And I think that looks really nice in a sunburst guitar, which it does. The thing that these pickups all have in common is they are unpotted pickups. And what that's supposed to do is give a more open and articulate sound. And when it comes to clean, I really have to say that you do notice that difference. In terms of the clean tone, these are probably my favorite humbuckers I've ever heard. Just a really beautiful clean, especially when they're mixed in the center position and you kind of balance things out. If the amp is loud with the tone and volume, you can get an absolutely gorgeous tone. And when you're picking, you notice there's a subtlety there that's a little bit missing on some other guitars that I guess the wax potting kind of takes away from. So, that was sort of the angle to see how that would actually be in this particular instrument. So I decided to not go with Seymour Duncan because I have lots of Seymour Duncan pickups and I love Seymour Duncan, don't get me wrong. And it was really between WCR and Wolfetone after having read through all the stuff. And there are tons of other manufacturers, and the whole boutique pickup market is a huge thing now with the internet. And if you're interested in that, I really recommend doing your research and writing to some of these people. These are guys in their own houses, I'm assuming, running their own businesses and doing really well and creating a lot of good quality products. So there's lots of choice, but obviously with choice comes the difficulty of deciding which one is best. And there's not a lot on YouTube or the internet in terms of sound samples of these, and I find that a lot of times, not knocking people's videos, but they're just recording off the camera with the cheap microphones. So you're not really getting the true sound of this. So today we're gonna properly mic up the amplifiers and hear it between a Marshall and a Fender to hear those differences. went with the Wolfetones because they were a cheaper price than the WCRs, actually by a fair bit. Now these are no cheap pickups, obviously. These are custom made by somebody, so the price is going to be a little bit higher than what you might get for sort of standard production pickups. But you're also paying for quality, so that's a normal thing. So the whole issue with the non-potting or non-wax potting in the pickups that is set online is microphonic feedback, which is a really high-pitched squealing sound that you get similar to pointing a microphone at a speaker, and you're going to particularly get this if you point the guitar towards the amplifier, which we're going to demo later. And about half the people online cited that no, you don't get microphonic feedback and it has nothing to do with potting and it has to do with how the pickups are wound. And the other half people saying yes, you will get the squealing if they're unpotted. And I did not know who to believe, so obviously it came down to giving it a test and seeing what happens. And so I wrote to Wolf, and he was actually a very nice guy, and getting back when we talked about this, he suggested that he could put a little bit of wax potting in because I do like some high gain tones and I like a variety of tones. But I did want to hear what they did sound like unpotted, so I asked him not to put any wax potting in there, and that's how they came. So they arrived great, nice packaging in the box, and they look and feel really high quality, and I had them installed. And the truth is, this one does not squeal at all, even when you point it at the amp. As long as you keep your fingers over the strings, you might get a little bit of feedback, but nothing out of the ordinary. It's no different than the rest of them. This one, the Marshallhead, though, it does squeal a lot. I took this guitar live one night, and it was a bit of a pain having that problem. Luckily, it was a tiny venue and there wasn't a lot of people, so it was no big deal in terms of that, but it does squeal, and we're going to hear that here. Marshallhead, you'd figure go into Marshall amp and do that. Now, when I use this guitar here, the Les Paul with the slash pickups, the Seymour Duncan ones, there's no microphonics at all. And they sound really great clean too. Not quite as nice as this, so it's that's the thing, like you're going for subtlety. So do you want that little bit of extra articulation, or do you want to keep the feedback free? If this is going to be a live instrument, like a guitar you use live, and you want to control that, and you're a high gain player, maybe not the best choice. Or go for a different one of Wolfetone's pickups, or ask him to wax pot it. I mean, all those are options, but getting it purely unwax potted might not be the best way to go. If you're if you're just clean most of the time, well, then go for it. You're gonna get that beautiful clarity and articulation out of these pickups. They're very, very nice that way. And if you are a pedal platform kind of player where you don't use high gain on the amp, you're using pedals to stack your gain or go low gain, again, you're not gonna have any problems. I don't find this squeals at all when you're going pedal based. So final thoughts, Wolfetone pickups, excellent quality pickups, excellent build, hand wound. Wolf's a really nice guy. I enjoyed talking to him. He delivered the pickups very quickly and everything worked out really nice that way. In terms of tone, clean, I give him a 10 out of 10. Absolutely awesome clean tone, beautiful articulation. If you're putting them into a guitar that's just for recording, that'd be definitely the way to go. In terms of high gain, in terms of medium gain or low gain, again, really nice articulation. You get a lot of control when you're rolling off the volume. If you're a high gain player though, and you're going unwax potted, at least on a bridge pickup in my experience, the Marshallhead, I wouldn't go that route. Kind of a problem there in my opinion. That's just my opinion. Again, other people might think differently and that's fine. So if you're gonna go for this pickup, you might want to have it slightly wax potted. So overall, I really like the tone of the Dr. Vintage, distorted and clean. It gives you that nice warm tone. The Marshallhead's just not my overall favorite. It does sound good, but I think it's missing a little bit of bass and a little bit of highs, and it's very mid-rangey, I find. I find this instrument really mid-rangey anyway, so maybe that was my fault for not quite figuring that out, but you never know until you try. And obviously pickups can be changed out, and this could be put into a different guitar or sold or whatnot. These were done as a pair, and he said he was balancing them, so that I think that's why the combined tone sounds really, really good, because they do really work well together, and you're getting the Alnico 2 and the Alnico 5 kind of blended, which I personally am a big fan of and really like the tone of. So Wolfetones, check them out. Check out other boutique pickups online. There's a lot going on out there, and you can vary up your tone and find new particular settings that might just do the right sound for you and what you're looking for. Hope that helped, and I hope that you hit subscribe, click like on the video, and I'll see you next time. Have a great day.